Grant Denyer now.
It's Grant Denyer.
The gold logie this year. Oh my God, it's Grant Denyer.
And our mum, Shezzy Daniel. She's really crazy.
It's all true.
It's All True, the podcast with Grant and Shezzy Daniel.
Quick, schmick, fast. We just love it. That's what the Quickie's all about. We get in, we get out, we talk about some really, really serious topics and, tackle some big problems the world is facing.
Yeah.
If you want to see logic, if you want to hear logic, you've come to the right place. The It's All True Quickie. I'm George Sargent.
place?
Grant Denyer and Shezzy Denyer are here too. Hello, guys.
Have you
I'm
gone
just going to keep
mental?
talking. You're not going to talk this episode.
You what?
Wow.
Come to the right place.
Yeah, I was waiting for you
I
to
don't
say
think
you
it's
come
ever
to the
been
wrong place.
Right place.
I love it. So what
Look,
highbrow
there's nothing
topic?
wrong or right about this place. It's just whatever you want it to be.
You said slick, quick at the start, and you went through a lot of rhyming words,
Yeah.
which reminds me of doing homework last night with Scouty, where we had to come up with a lot of rhyming words for luck.
Ooh.
And I can only think of one.
Duck.
I wasn't. No, I did. You know what? Sailor said that this morning, and I didn't even think of that once.
Suck?
Yeah, I included suck in there. Yep, but I leaned
Whoa.
over to little Scouty, who's only 7, and was like, "Don't misspell this with an F." And she was like, took a second, and then boom, it sunk in. She got it. The light bulb went off, and there was that look between us, like, "Yeah, I got you, Dad. I know where you're going with this. This is hilarious stuff."
So guess what
And
she
we
said?
bonded.
Guess what she said today in news?
Guess what rhymes with luck?
Yeah.
And then she went through
My
them all.
dad showed me a word that if you remove the L and replace it with an F, you create a whole new word.
I didn't spell it
I'm
out
joking.
that much. But mind you, perhaps I need to question my own parenting, because we were at SeaWorld the other day and we did see the sharks from an underwater level through the viewing platform. And I did point out that the shark swimming past had 2 penises, which it does.
And you're pretty proud about that fact, aren't you?
Scientifically correct. I remember it. And yeah, so that's 2 moments where we bonded over naughty words. So
Naughtiness.
I don't know if I should have kids.
Well, it's a bit too late. I think
Thanks, George.
that, we don't get Podcast of the Year awards. We don't get any awards for this podcast yet. So maybe we should go for like a Father of the Year award for your fathering skills.
Well, that's nice.
Maybe we should have a point system where I just deduct points every time I do something bad and then just see where it ends.
You're in the minuses.
I'm in the minuses, and it's early on in the year, though. I've got time to come back.
So, George, what highbrow topic have you got for us today for this
Hang
quickie?
on. No one's ever come prepared. Is this... Hang on. Have you got something in your pocket? Have you got a topic for this quickie?
I do. I actually did have one last week too. I'm glad you remembered that, but I've got another one this week. I'm being a bit more consistent and hopefully more memorable in the future.
Wow. 2 in a row is a pattern, and I'm very happy for you. All right. What is it?
Celebrities.
Celebrities should earn less money. What are your thoughts on that, guys? Because you're just common people and amongst the commoners of this world. And I guess I think celebrities should earn less money. That's just where I'm sitting today, guys.
Is there something that you've seen that tipped you off?
Yeah.
As to where you were like, that's outrageous. How can they?
Oh, there's these people that are sitting on podcasts and radio shows and TV and they're just doing what we're doing and getting paid squillions.
Yeah.
What?
We're all equal, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes. Who
don't-
are these people?
We don't get paid for this podcast. Occasionally there's a sponsor, but it's very small. It pays for our electricity that powers up the board and the laptop.
And even if you can hear the delay with the Zoom interview today, you'll know that it's not much. We've got a low-key internet service provider.
Yep.
But what about Mariah Carey, speaking of bloody celebrities? Remember we looked up how much she gets per year just off that one song?
Oh, the Christmas song. All I Want for
All
Christmas.
I Want for Christmas.
Yeah. What about bloody, who's the
She's
podcaster
pocketing
that
like
you listen to?
5 million a year just on that alone, I think. It's something like
wasn't
Joe
it?
Rogan, 120 million. Was his Spotify deal.
$120 million. Like what? I don't understand what you would...
that's based on reach, how many people listen. So, biggest podcaster in the world, so listened by hundreds of millions of people. So therefore, it's just a maths equation, I'm sure, for whoever did that deal. And remember, Spotify was also trying to make a lot of noise in the podcasting space. So he was a big acquisition, and he was the number one get. He was the number one draft pick. He was the Michael Jordan of the Chicago Bulls.
And how much did he get paid?
A hell of a lot more than everyone else in the team.
Yeah.
We're going to remember like Michael Schumacher in his period of winning 7 odd world championships he was getting like 80 million a year, and
Far out. That's a lot of money.
That was from Ferrari, but Ferrari could pay him out of the money they made just from selling hats.
What?
So his entire salary was made up of just from hat sales. So that kind of gives you an idea of what kind of money's around. So when you're doing well on a global platform, there's a lot of money there. Well, we haven't yet cracked Nicaragua, Somalia. We haven't yet we're not big in those markets yet, so we're not global.
Yeah, that's right.
Even
You
saying
can actually,
Nicaragua.
on our statistics for this podcast, there's like a big world map that you can look at, and it tells you how many people download and listen to our podcast.
Wait.
Does it say where from?
Yeah.
Because are we? Maybe
Yeah,
I'm wrong. Maybe we are big in
Do
Nicaragua.
we have any listeners in Africa?
Well, look, a good producer and a prepared man would have brought that to the table today for this podcast, but he did not. But I'm going to assume there's at least 1.5.
Yeah,
That's great.
Desmond Tutu. He's a big fan. Of
Do you
this
know what?
podcast.
If you had 120 million, what could that do in Africa? Could that feed like a big chunk of Africa?
Yeah.
See, I clearly I don't earn that much money because I would feel very guilty about having that much and not paying something large
there's
forward.
philanthropy. I'm sure a lot of people who earn that kind of coin, do spend it and share it with others.
To the Kardashians?
I don't know. I haven't asked them. But then you look at someone like Bill Gates. He's a big philanthropist, but you got to remember a lot of people at that end of the financial spectrum also don't pay a lot of tax. So they're sort of skimming from one area and pretending, and that you always got to be wary about those who make a lot of noise about the money that they spend and donating, and because I always feel like there might be a bit of a con going on here.
Do you remember Angelina Jolie?
just
used
thinking
to,
the same thing.
Yeah, that's so weird. We just telepathically, spoke.
Remember, she was at one point just adopting every kid in Africa there for a while.
Yes. She had all these kids and she was just out really promoting Africa and poverty and trying to change the world. And is she still doing all of that? Because since she and Brad split up, I haven't noticed a lot. Maybe a lot of her money is going into court cases.
I don't know. Look, I'm with you, George. I think celebrities are paid too much. Look, I remember, what used to annoy me was when celebrities would crack the shits being photographed. And you go, buddy, hey, Brad, you're getting $20 million a film. You're getting $20 million just to pretend to be someone else. You're playing dress-ups. Right, $20 million. You're not saving lives. You're not curing cancer. You're not digging wells in Africa. Mate, you're playing dress-ups. So you can walk outside your little bloody restaurant when you're in there getting your free meal because you're famous. You don't even need a book. You can just walk in there because you're Brad bloody Pitt. There's always a bloody table. If they come out there's a photographer there, mate, just smile. Just smile, mate, because everyone who buys that magazine that sees your photo, someone who goes to your movie who pays for your $20 million salary. So, yeah, I always think it's pretty weird when a celebrity cracks it about, having the paparazzi around when really without the public, you
To
don't
be
get
And the other
fair-
thing
salary.
too, on like a other scale, like I went and watched just the local football on the weekend, and these guys are incredible athletes. Like they're only one step below the NRL that we're seeing on our TVs and in the big stadiums around the country. Like they're literally at that level, but they're playing on a local level. Plus they have their families, their full-time gig, as a tradie or whatever they're doing amongst that, like they're doing the exact same thing as these people who are at the top, training, a few times a week. It's just insane that you're doing the exact same thing, but I bet the price difference or how much they're worth and how much they're getting paid is completely different.
Well, let's be honest, right? You got to, if someone who gets to the top of their game, no matter what their game is, deserves to be paid more
Absolutely.
than everyone else. If you're elite at anything, then your value is higher to the organisation that pays you.
And they probably also too at that top level NRL, they probably have like promo shoots and they use their photos in, I don't know.
If your blokes were good enough, they'd be in the NRL and they'd be being paid that, right? So they're good, but they're probably just not that final 5% elite, the best in the business. But you're right, the difference in quality might only be a couple of percent, yet the difference in their salary, can be like 300%.
Well, they probably pay.
Yeah.
They probably pay to play football on a weekend. They don't get paid.
No, they do. They get a meat pie and a Coke. That's the salary. It's worth it.
You can't be an elite. You can't be an elite athlete having a meat pie and a Coke.
I remember Leighton Hewitt in the middle of might have been the Australian Open in the final, and he sits down like they said at the end of every set, and he just swigs on a Coke. And I'm like, that's the most unhealthy athlete thing I've seen in a long time.
Shane Warne.
To sustain his sugar levels, obviously, but. At
Remember
the time,
Shane
it just
Warne
looked very irresponsible. Are you going to light up a dart there as well, buddy?
Yeah.
Are you? Or what are you going to have? Why don't you just have a Carlton draft while you're there?
Well, on that, Coke or Coke no sugar, which one do you prefer? Because I know there's definitely a different taste between the two. Like I can definitely tell which one's which.
Coke no sugar.
Ugh.
Same. Love it.
What?
Yeah.
You guys should get married because this is sick. This
Yeah,
discussion.
Grant. We discuss this all the time.
It's probably because the early days of like no sugar or alternate sugar. What were drinks?
When we used to have the diet Coke.
Yeah,
remember,
diets.
with the phenylalanine.
Because fake sugar is chemicals, and I could taste the chemicals, and it always put me off. So I've never really ventured back, in all honesty. So is no sugar absolutely no sugar, or does it have fake sugar in it? Or are you just getting the caffeine and no sugar at all?
It's no sugar. It's just got a really refined new technology that's replaced sugar.
I feel like it's slightly less sweet as well than normal Coke. Like I had a normal Coke today and I'm like, oh, that's sugary.
Yeah, it's very heavy on the sugar. Yeah,
I had to look at how much sugar was in something the other day, remember? We were like, how much sugar is in this ginger beer? Oh, 19 grams per 100. So that's like 19 spoonfuls, is it, in a
glass.
litre?
Yeah,
it's
do you say in a 100 mils? 100 mils is a glass. It's a small glass.
That's a lot
250
of sugar.
is a normal glass.
That's a lot.
That's a ton of sugar. I'm still waiting for Coca-Cola. I'll be back on board once they put the cocaine back in the Coca-Cola. Then I am. I don't know if you know this, George. Coca-Cola originally had cocaine in it.
Yeah,
that's where the cocoa comes from. The cocoa reference.
They put it in there to make it more addictive. Apparently, in the 50s and 60s.
It wasn't because it tasted like chocolate. It wasn't cocoa. As in the chocolate, it was cocoa for cocaine.
Yeah. At the
and
same
at what
time,
point did they decide to get rid of it? So they got rid of the cocaine out of it. Was it because they realised, this is too addictive?
Probably the 40s or 50s.
I'm not sure.
I would have thought.
But
cocaine was in tons of medicine as well.
They used to put Valium in cat food. Remember somebody that we know, Tony Quinn, was telling me that they used to put that in cat food many, many moons ago, and they'd be like, oh, the cat food really settles the cats down.
Because it's stoned off its tits.
Yeah.
Cocoa,
Here we go. Did Coca-Cola ever contain cocaine? The drink was invented in 1885.
Yeah, it goes back.
What?
Yes.
No way.
Bloody oath.
Oh my God.
Thank you, John Pemberton. That's the guy who made it. He's a legend.
He made it in his backyard. The original recipe contained cocaine in the form of an extract of the cocoa leaf, which inspired the coca part of the beverage's name. Oh,
How funny is that when you know that cocoa and Coca-Cola is cocaine? It feels so
wild.
otherworldly.
what's this? News.com.au. No, we're not promoting any news outlets. But anyway, that's from the 2nd of
You need to type in when
April.
When did Coke stop using cocaine?
well,
Because I remember even Elon Musk the other day when he bought Twitter, he was contemplating buying Twitter at that point. He made a joke on Twitter saying, "I'm just waiting. I'm going to buy Coca-Cola next, just to put the cocaine back in Coca-Cola," which was a pretty funny tweet.
oh, I can't see here. But anyway, it's
The internet doesn't want us to know. That's weird.
Yeah, it would have stopped in.
Oh, so
53.
good old John Pemberton. He was addicted to morphine, the guy who created it.
Oh, no surprise.
Yeah. Because he was wounded in the American Civil War. That's how long ago we're talking.
Wow. So he was bayoneted, and in the Civil War.
And he claimed that Coke, when he first brought it out, was a cure for many diseases, including morphine addiction, indigestion, nerve disorders,
Just replaces
headaches,
the morphine.
So it was like a
And-
nicotine patch for him. It was his gateway to get off the hard stuff.
and impotence,
Well,
because all of those things are related.
well, but you look at old medicine bottles from way back as well. They all had this stuff in it, and they're like promises to cure the common cold and AIDS. You know what I mean? Like it was just,
And AIDS.
it was just so broad.
Oh.
And of course, you felt good when you took the medicine because it had cocaine in it. So you're like, this stuff really does the trick.
God, there's a lot of a write-up about this, but I can't see. But anyway, we know that it was in 85 they changed the... That can't be right.
I wouldn't have gone all the way to 85, I wouldn't have thought, with cocaine in it. It'd be the 50s or 60s, I would have thought. Anyway, Shezzy's ability to Google accurately is pretty... The search,
very
search
interesting,
words are important.
Yeah, okay, well...
Yeah. So what's
This quickie is wild. We went from the, celebrities shouldn't be paid to cocaine and Coke.
maybe we need to start our own It's All True soft drink, and you know what I mean? Let's not say it out loud because we don't want like the authorities to know what's in it, but we bring it back with it in it.
But if it's the It's All True drink, is it just a very honest drink? When
Yeah,
you get
it
it, you
is.
know exactly what you're getting.
So
Yeah.
it's all true. You won't sleep for a week.
It's water.
Maybe that's our slogan.
Maybe we just have something really pure. It's water.
Yeah, it's
Or it's
water
coffee.
with a winking logo like this.
Can it be your
my
face?
God.
Because that was a great wing.
Oh, no wonder we're not earning 130 million from this podcast.
Joe Rogan wouldn't come up with these ideas. No, he's not advanced enough.
Joe Rogan he would know when the cocaine was taken out of the Coke, wouldn't he? Yeah. We need to improve our setup here. And that's our quickie for the week.
Yep. Hey, I might.
That was quick.
A friend of mine works for a large supermarket chain. I won't say which one, but he gets, whenever the media mentions that company's name, he gets it written, like the transcripts, and it arrives in his desk. Oh no, I can't say it because that'll.
Oh, great.
Oh no, damn it,
Right.
that's gonna ruin it.
Oh, what a tease.
Oh, I know. I was going to say it and then see if it arrives in his transcripts, but that would identify where this man works. So
Okay.
I will
in
not.
The 1960s, it looks like, was when they started taking out the cocaine in Coke.
And that's when fun fell out of the world, everyone. That's when cars, interestingly, were beautifully designed, like they were inspired.
Oh, because of the cocaine and the Coke.
They were thinking straight. They
Architecture.
didn't need distractions.
Fashion and music, that was at a height. That's been fun. But thanks for
been
kicking
fun.
this one around.
Bye.
It's All True, the podcast with Grant and Shezzy Denya.
Bye